Hello, my dear students. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Welcome to the Aristotle video lecture series. I have already completed the lectures on Plato. So the English lecture, which I have already completed on Plato, got a lot of love, a lot of view. For that, I'm continuing the English series on Aristotle as well. All the Western political thinkers in Hindi are already available on my YouTube channel. So if you are comfortable with Hindi, you can access them as well. So this lecture would be in English for all the international student, South Indian student, and Northeastern student who have difficulty in understanding the pure Hindi. So try to understand. The Aristotle was a great disciple or the student of Plato. We have already discussed about Plato. We have already discussed all the ideas of Plato. The Plato was the disciple of Socrates. So Socrates was the teacher of Plato. The Aristotle was also the teacher of Alexander the Great. Alexander the Great was the king of Macedonia, the great king. You might be knowing about Alexander the Great. The Aristotle was not born in Athens. That means he was not the native citizen of Athens. Rather, he was born in Stagira. The Stagira is on the border areas of Macedonia. The Aristotle's father was a general physician in the Macedonian king's court. Therefore, the Aristotle father was a doctor in nutshell, I could say. Therefore, you might be knowing that Aristotle is the father of political science. The Aristotle is the father of biology as well. So how he became the father of biology and from where he got the knowledge of biology, one can think of it because his father was doctor. So therefore, the natural trait of his father, the knowledge of his father, he learned from his father. He became the father of biology as well. He is also called the father of physics. But this is important for us that he is the father of political science because we are learning political science right now. And why he is called the father of political science? Because he was the first political thinker who has employed, who has taken up the empirical approach. His all the ideas are based on the experience. His all ideas are practical. Therefore, Aristotle was a practical man. Aristotle was a pragmatic man as compared to Plato. Plato was a utopian. The way the Plato was talking about the communism of family, the communism of property, you could think that Plato was utopian person. Plato was rejecting the family, the institution of marriage, the institution of property altogether. You have already learned in the previous lecture of mine. But on the other hand, Plato being a practical person, he did not rejected the institution of family, marriage, property. He accepted all the things. Therefore, he was more popular in Athens and in Greece as compared to Plato. So let us focus on Aristotelian state. So what the Aristotelian state is? The first point you should know about the Aristotelian state. The Aristotelian state is natural. The Aristotelian state is organic. The Aristotelian state is like an organism. As the organism is gradually growing and evolving, in the same way the Aristotle believed that the state is the natural entity, it keep on growing, it keep on evolving. That is the first point we need to remember. How the state is natural entity or how it is the natural organism, because state is inevitable. The formation of the state has to be done. Why the formation of state has to be done? Why there is no other option to the individual? Try to understand this point. Aristotle argued that God does not make the human beings self-sufficient, individuals self-sufficient. So in order to fulfill some of their needs, they actually marry and they make their family. Family can satisfy some of the needs, but family cannot satisfy all the needs of human beings. So therefore, the human beings, they make villages. The villages can also further satisfy some of the needs, which was not satisfied, which was not fulfilled by the family, like trade and others. However, the villages can also not satisfy all the needs of individual. Therefore, a state has to be created. Therefore, state is inevitable. Therefore, a state needed to be formed, and many villages come together and they make state. See the gradual evolution. See the gradual growth, like an organism, how the state is growing. So individual was there, the association of individual is family. The association of family, many family came together, they made villages, and many villages came together and they created a state. That is why sometimes the Aristotle is also referring the state as association of associations, because the state is the grand association, the meta association, the larger association. How? Because the association of individual is making family, the association of family is making villages, and association of villages is making a state. The another important point to note down, the Aristotelian state was a diverse state. It was not a uniform state. Why? The Aristotle supported the diversity of the state. Aristotle argued that if there would be one kind of person, how the all the needs of the individual would be fulfilled. So therefore, he supported the diverse classes. He said that there must be the agriculturalist, there must be industrialists, there must be traders, there must be soldiers or warriors, there must be the other communities as well. So Aristotle's state was the unity in diversity. There were many diverse groups who were living together. So that is also an important point to remember. So what the point I told you till now, the state is natural entity. How the state is created, I already explained you. I also explained you the state is association of association. The third thing, the Aristotle believed in Aristotelian state. Sorry, Aristotelian state, I'm saying it is the diverse state. The Aristotle believed in diverse state. The fourth most important point, and this is very confusing, you need to understand this. The Aristotle argued that state is prior to individual. How this can happen, how this is possible? I already told you that first of all there is individual, then family, then villages, then there will be state. But how the Aristotle is claiming that the state is prior to individuals? Try to understand. Aristotle trying to make a sense in such a manner. See, try to understand here, I'm saying the individuals become human beings only in the state. There is difference between the individual and there is difference between the human beings. There is a clear cut distinction according to Aristotle between individual and human beings. See, the human beings are not just by physique, not just by appearance. If we have two hands, two legs, if we have two eyes, one nose, we can't be said as human beings. We are just individual. One person could become a real human being, a true human being, when he will have all the characteristic of the human being. And how he will learn all the characteristic of human being, how he will learn the morality, the values, the norms, the ethics of the society. He will learn all those things only in the state. So therefore it is said that chronologically, if we will follow the chronology, the individuals are prior to the state. First of all, individual is there, and after that there is the state. But logically, the state is prior to individuals. That means an individual become a real human being, a human being in true sense, only and only in the state. That is why the state is prior to individual. When there would be the state, when there would be individual in the state, that individual within the state only can become the full human being, a human being who can realize his true potential, a human being with the human being who will have the values, the norms, the ethics. This is the point which we need to remember. So I think I have explained you all the point. Let us discuss them one by one. So this is how we are going to pursue our lecture. First point, the Aristotle was not the native of Athens. I already told you he was born near the border of Macedonia, particularly the place called Stagira. He was a great disciple of Plato, and he was also the critic, because Plato was a utopian person. Therefore, the Aristotle is criticizing the Plato on his theory of family, on his theory of property, and all other things you already have learned in the lecture series of Plato. So, as I told you, the father of Aristotle was a general physician in the court of Macedonian king. I already told you Plato was a utopian. On the other hand, Aristotle is a pragmatic person. Plato is a radical. You can see the thoughts of Plato on the family, on the wives, right? On the communism of wife. I have already taught you these. On the other hand, the Aristotle was a conservative, because the Aristotle supported all family marriages, etc. Whatever I explained you, I have explained you whole lecture. Now I'm just going through the points quickly. The Plato was an extremist. However, the Aristotle followed the golden mean. What is golden mean? Golden mean is the balanced approach in each and everything we are going to see. If we will see the characteristic of the best state according to Aristotle, we will see that in each and every step he is following the balanced approach, the golden mean. The Plato believed in perfection, but on the other hand, the Aristotle believed in moderation. Now let us try to understand Aristotelian state. So why the state came into existence? In order to fulfill the needs of the human being, in order to satisfy the needs of human beings, and why the state continued? For the good life of the human beings, in order to provide the good life to the human beings. So I already told you state is a natural organization. It is the result of growth and evolution. See, there were a group of people called Sophists who were contemporary in Athens to Aristotle. They believed what Aristotle is saying, that the state is organic. But on the other hand, the Sophists were individualist. The Aristotle and Plato, they are giving more importance to state, they are giving more importance to society, and they are giving less importance to individual. But here the sophist, they are individualist. They are giving more importance to individuals. Therefore, they believed that state is not organic entity. State is the product of the social contract. The individual themselves have created the state for their sake, for the safety and security of their life. The same kind of analogy is later claimed by Thomas Hobbes, John Locke, and Rousseau. So one could say that all those social contractualist thinkers, they have taken inspiration from the sophists of Athens who were contemporary to Plato and Aristotle. So this point is already explained, that human beings, chronologically they are prior to the state, but logically the state is prior to the human beings. I already told you that how the state is came into existence, because the human beings are not self-sufficient. Therefore, they created family for satisfying their basic needs, and after the family they created villages, because family was also not able to satisfy all the basic needs. The villages were also not able to satisfy all the needs. Therefore, ultimately they created the state, and the state is self-sufficing. Actually, they does not created the state. The state came into being naturally, right? They intentionally does not created the state. Therefore, we are saying that Aristotelian state is organic. Intentionally the human being by the contract are not creating the state. The state is inevitable. It was created in the gradual time period in order to satisfy all the needs of the people. This is important. See, this point I already explained you. Chronologically, the man is prior to the state. First of all, the man came, then family came, then the villages came, and then the state came into the existence. But logically, the state is prior to man, because a man became real human being in true sense only when there was the state, because the state actually imparted the education by which the human beings inculcated the values, ethics, norms, behavior, tradition, etc., and they really became human beings, because these are the factors how we are distinguished from the animals. What is difference between the human beings and animals? The human beings, they have education, they have ethics, they have moral values. The animal don't have moral values at all. So therefore, when men for the first time came on the earth, they were like the animals. But how they really became the human beings? In the state, according to Aristotle. So one more thing here, Aristotle is pointing out that the person is always living inside the state. The state is inevitable for the person, right? Inevitable means which has to be there. So a state is inevitable for the person. And Aristotle claims very famously that a person who is living outside the state is either a beast or a god, right? That means no human beings, a common human being can live without the state. A state is necessary for all of them. So therefore, see this, the Aristotle is giving a lot of importance to the state. Here, by nature, man is a social and political animal. We already know this is very famous quotation of Aristotle. So, as the human beings cannot live without the state, they have to be live, means they has to live in the state. That is why by nature the human beings are social and political animal, the Aristotle has claimed. After that, the features of Aristotelian state, I have already explained you. This is the natural entity and how it is being formed, just all the chronology, individuals, then family, then villages, then state came into existence. You can write that state is prior to human being a lot of time. Right now I have explained you this point. Then state is the association of association. I have explained you this one in the beginning of the lecture, that individual association make family, the association of family make villages, and the association of villages make state. The state is a special association because it is fulfilling all the needs of the people. So therefore, it is for the general and the common purpose. It has larger concern as compared to any other association. If I will talk about family, family is also association, but it can only fulfill some of our basic needs, not all the concerns. But state is a special, a kind of unique association which has the larger concern. It can fulfill all the needs of the individuals. This is very important, the fourth one. See, as I told you, the Aristotle regarded the state as an organism. So state is an organism and individuals are like the body parts. As the body parts are having no meaning when they are separated from the body, in the same way the individuals will have no meaning, no importance, no value when they would be separated from the state. So therefore, state is inevitable, is part and parcel of an individual. When individual is separated from the state, when individual leaves a state and goes outside the state, it has no value at all. The individual become meaningless. So this is important point. State is self-sufficing. That means the state is self-sufficient. It can fulfill all the basic needs of the human beings. That is why this is called self-sufficing. Then Aristotelian state is the unity in diversity. Already explained this point. Aristotelian state had a lot of diverse group, like agriculturalist, like workers were there, industrialist, administrator, legislature, judiciary, etc. Aristotle gave more importance to the rule of law as compared to the rule of philosophy. The Plato was insisting more on the rule of philosophy. However, the rule of philosophy is based on the wisdom of just one person. The one person has only gave that philosophy. On the other hand, the law is the result of the collective wisdom. The many people, they sit together, they discuss, they have a kind of discourse, they have a kind of deliberation, that is participatory process. So how the law is formed? Law is formed by the collective group of people, by their collective wisdom, by their collective knowledge. So the laws are more reliable than just the wisdom of one person, that is the philosopher king. Therefore, on contrary, as the Plato was supporting the rule of philosophy, on the other hand, the Aristotle is supporting the rule of law, because law is based on the collective wisdom of the people. And as I told you, the Aristotle didn't believe on the law of the rule of philosophy or the rule of knowledge. Now let us try to understand what is the best possible state according to Aristotle, and what are the features of the best possible state. So there are, first of all, three functions which a state should perform according to Aristotle. First of all, to provide good and happy life to the people. Second, to inculcate the moral values within the people. And third, to satisfy, to fulfill all the basic requirement of all the people living in a state. Now, what are the characteristic of the best state? So first of all, based on economy. So a state should neither be very rich, neither be so poor. If state would be very poor, then state will be unable to fulfill all the basic needs of all its people, because of the lack of the resources, because of the lack of wealth. If the state would be very rich, the state means there is the chance that other state will try to attack the state. Other state will try to invade the state in order to plunder the state, in order to loot the state. So therefore, being very rich is also not good, because the person who is very rich in the common life, I'm giving the example, all the people have an eye to them, right? So therefore, there must be the balanced thing. That means the state neither be very rich nor be very poor. That is why I'm saying that Aristotle will always talk about the golden mean, a kind of moderation, a kind of balanced approach he will take in all the features. You can see this one. The constitutional provision should not be too harsh, because it should be, because if it is too harsh, then people will actually uh, revolt against the state, against the constitution, because they would be fed up of that constitution. If that would be too harsh, if it would be too soft, then also there is a problem. Then there would be no fear, then there would be no deterrence in the mind of people, in the heart of people, and they may commit the crime. So therefore, the constitutional provision, it should neither be too harsh nor be too soft. The third point here itself, the Aristotle points out that the constitution should not favor only one class of the people. It should be based on equality. It should give the equal opportunity, equal treatment to all the people in the society. After that, population. And here, when I am saying people, remember one point, I am talking about the freemen. Freemen are the people who are not slave. Okay, the slavery was permitted by the Aristotle, as I already told you in the beginning. So therefore, whenever I am referring people and people, that means the freemen, who are the citizen of the Greek city states. Okay, here the slaves are excluded. The population should be also balanced. The the state should not be too populated. If it would be too populated, it would be again become very tough for the state to fulfill all the needs of all the people. If it would have very less population, there would be problem of resources, because there would be no, because there would be not the generation of the taxes in the good amount. There would be very less taxes, there would be very less wealth which should come as the taxes from the people, and again there would be the same problem. The state will fail to fulfill the basic needs of the people or the individuals. See, here the quality of population is also important. The Aristotle is also emphasizing on the quality of education. The population just does not matter. Like India, we very proudly say that India has the youngest population in the world. The demography of India is best. But ask a question from yourself. How quality population the India has? How good are our youth? Ask this question. Our youth are only busy in scrolling the Instagram and making the reels. What they are doing? Are they really serious about their life? So the quality of population, are they really educated, are they really healthy? That is the point. So therefore the people must be educated, they must be healthy. That means there must be the good quality of population in the state as well. Then territory and size, again the balanced approach would be taken by the Aristotle. It should not be very big. If it would be very big, then there would be the problem, the administration will become a hectic task. If it would be very small, then also there is the problem in the generation of the resources, in the generation of the taxes. So therefore it neither be too big nor be very small as well at the same time. And it should be located in such a place that it should naturally protect the state from the external aggression. Take the example of Britain. The Britain is an island, therefore no one in the history has invaded that the Britain, because there is no way you could directly invade the Britain, right? So that is the point he's making, that state must be located at such a place where there should be the natural borders, natural barriers, which is impossible to cross, which is impossible to invade. Like there is Himalaya is protecting India in one way. So it is very difficult, it is next to impossible to cross the Himalayan range and to attack India. So Aristotle is also talking about such a location. Then character of people, the people must be patriotic, the people must be intelligent. Then different classes in the state, I already told you the state, the Aristotle was believing in the diversity, the unity in diversity. Therefore he supported the diverse class of the people, like artisan, agriculturalist, warriors, priests and administrators. Then education is very important. Why? Because good education can only inculcate the morality, ethics, values, norms of the society in an individual. And then only individual can become moral and good. Without education, the individual cannot become a moral man or a good man. So therefore, good education is the foundation of the Aristotelian state as well. So this is the lecture number 1. We will soon continue with lecture number 2. If you liked my video, please give a thumbs up. Please subscribe my channel. I'll meet you in the next lecture. Have a nice day.